For today's video, we got some more Ghost Recon Wildlands, and in this one, I'm going to be going over this week's live season challenges. Starting off with the first solo challenge, you're going to have to fast travel to Tabakal Bravo and then complete the mission stock drop without killing any enemies. Now the first thing I should point out is that you're going to have to start the mission called stock drop first and then fast travel to the Tabakal Bravo safe house. And make sure that you travel to the correct safe house. Don't do what I did and travel to Alpha, because it's not going to count towards your progress if you don't go to the correct safe house. Now for this mission, you're going to have to destroy the 3 coca stocks. And the first couple of times I did this mission, I was able to do it using stealth, but again, it didn't complete when I did it those times because I didn't go to the correct safe house. And the second time I did it, I actually went to the safe house before I started the mission, which also doesn't count. So again, for this first solo challenge, you're gonna have to first start the mission and then fast travel to the Tabakal Bravo safe house. So that was the first thing I wanted to point out. I do believe you can knock enemies out, but if they're alerted and you try to knock them out, then it's gonna make you fail this solo challenge. So I believe if you tried to knock someone out while they're alerted, it ends up counting as a kill. And again, you're gonna have to complete this first solo challenge without killing anybody. Now what I did in order to make this first solo challenge really easy was I turned tier 1 mode off and I changed my difficulty to regular, I believe. And as you can see in this gameplay, I was able to take out all 3 of the coca stocks without having to kill any enemies. And I was able to basically just run through the mission. I ran to the 3 different coca stocks, I threw a C4 on it, and I blew them up. And that's how I was able to complete this first solo challenge. So yeah, if you're struggling with the first one, just turn off tier 1 mode, lower the difficulty to make it a little bit easier, and you should be able to run through it like I did. For the second solo challenge, you're gonna have to start the mission called Aggressive Competition. And that mission is located in the Okoro province. And after you start that mission, you're then going to have to fast travel to the Okoro Charlie safe house. And you're going to have to complete it without shooting a single bullet. And this mission's basically broken up into 2 parts. And your first objective for this mission is to interrogate El Emisario's assistant. And he's going to be riding in a vehicle. So what I did was I looked at the route that they were taking. I flew ahead and then hopped out of the helicopter. I then used my EMP drone to stop their little convoy. I believe I also called in a diversion as well to help out with some of the enemies, because they said that you can't shoot a single bullet, but they didn't say that you can't call in rebels who will obviously shoot their bullets. So I did call in a diversion after I EMP'd their convoy. After the rebels took out some of the enemies, I then grabbed El Emisario's assistant and interrogated him. Another thing I should point out with this mission is that you can lower the difficulty on this one as well. So again, if you're struggling with it or you just want to run through it, then go ahead and lower the difficulty and it should make things a lot easier. So after you interrogate the assistant, you'll then have to gain access to the cocaine factory. And basically what I did was I just flew straight up to the factory, hopped out of my helicopter, and then went inside the factory. I'm not exactly sure why, but it seemed like enemies didn't spawn until after I went inside the factory, so I didn't really have to worry about any enemies once I got there. And once you've made it inside the factory, you'll then have to go up the stairs and hack a computer. And after you hack the computer, you'll then have to destroy 2 cocaine stocks. And as for the 2 areas that have the cocaine stocks, one of them is going to have enemies inside, so what I would recommend you do is call in a diversion as well as guns for hire and let the rebels take out all of the enemies that are inside the area that has the cocaine stock. And again, you're going to do that because you have to complete this mission without shooting any bullets. I guess you could also use a flashbang, but that might be kind of dangerous. I guess it's up to you, but what I did was I called in a diversion as well as guns for hire. I waited for them to kill the enemies that was inside the building that had one of the cocaine stocks. And then I went inside and threw C4 on those cocaine stocks and blew them up. And as for the second location, that one didn't have any enemies inside of it. So all you have to do for that one is just go inside and blow up the cocaine stocks. Another quick tip I wanted to point out for this mission is that you have to complete the mission without shooting a single bullet. But that doesn't mean that you can't take out enemies using your melee. So if you do happen to get in close range of an enemy and he's about to shoot you, go ahead and take him out using your melee, and you should still be able to complete this mission without failing. But yeah, after you blow up the 2 cocaine stocks, you'll then be done with this week's second solo challenge. Now for the third solo challenge, you're gonna have to change your difficulty to extreme for this one, but it doesn't really matter because this one is probably the easiest challenge out of all solo challenges. But yeah, you're gonna have to change your difficulty to extreme and then start the mission called Laboratory 1 and then travel to the Villa Verde Bravo safe house. And I know you have to complete this one on extreme difficulty and you also have to complete it without dying, but honestly this is probably one of the easiest missions to do. So what I did was I flew to the location where the first generator was. I got within a couple hundred meters, pulled out my explosive drone and blew up that first generator with my explosive drone. And as soon as you blow up that generator, it's gonna complete the mission. And as soon as you complete the first laboratory mission, go ahead and start the second mission that's called Laboratory 2. And you're gonna do the same exact thing. You're gonna fly to the location where the generator is, get within a couple hundred meters, pull out your explosive drone and blow up the generator the same way you did the first one. So yeah, even though you have to complete this mission on extreme difficulty, it's really an easy mission to complete. And that about sums it up for this week's live season solo challenges. Anyways, as for this week's task force challenge, you're gonna have to go to any production province and use binoculars to mark 8 Santa Blanca veterans. And again, for those who don't know, the veterans are the ones that have the little orange circle above the head that has the 2 lines above it. So what you're gonna wanna do is fast travel to the Okoro Charlie safe house, which you can see right here on the map. And as soon as you spawn there, you're gonna wanna hop in the helicopter and then fly to this outpost, because there's gonna be a Santa Blanca veteran located in this building directly next to the outpost. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the gameplay that I did just to show you how easy it is. Again, the first thing you're gonna have to do is fast travel to Okoro Charlie. And when you get there should be a helicopter there. You can go ahead and hop in the helicopter and fly over in this direction. And basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna land our helicopter at this hill that's next to this outpost. And from there, you're gonna pull out your binoculars and aim it at this building right here. And there's a couple different places where the Santa Blanca veteran can be. He's either gonna be inside of the building or he can be on this balcony that's right outside of the building. So just aim your binoculars at this building you see me looking at. And again, he's either gonna be in the window on the top floor or he's gonna be outside of the building on that balcony. And most of the time I was able to spot him quickly, but there was one time where I had to actually wait a minute before he was visible. And yeah, after you spot him, just pull up your map, fast travel back to Okoro Charlie, and then repeat the process over again. Hop in your helicopter, fly back to this outpost, and spot the veteran using your binoculars. And as for the community challenge, which honestly is probably done by the time I uploaded this video, but as for this week's community challenge, you're gonna have to mark 100,000 camp equipment in any production province. And as you can see here, we're almost done with it on the PS4 already. So yeah, that about sums up this week's live season challenges. Once we complete the community challenge, we're gonna get this Commando Skull patch. Once you complete the task force challenge, you're gonna get a tier 1 booster. And when you complete the solo challenges, you're gonna get the MK17 Tiger Fang, which came from one of the previous ghost packs. Anyways, the last thing I want to quickly go over are the attachments that are on the MK17 Tiger Fang. It has 20 rounds in the magazine. It also has 2 different sights, one being a 3x zoom and the other one is a 1x zoom. So you have 2 different scopes on this assault rifle. This weapon also came with a suppressor that you can remove if you want to. And it also has 2 different firing modes, one being fully automatic and the other one being single burst. But yeah, that about sums up this week's live season challenges. If y'all enjoyed it or found it useful, don't forget to do what you do. I'm A1. Thanks for watching.